We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
Shout out D Hollins with the fact rap.
I know, right? Hollins boy, Hollins boy. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. We getting live in the studio. Tap in. Make sure you share it. Make sure you share it. Peace and blessings, brother Jaleel. I see you, baby. In the studio, tap in, make sure you share it out. We got a wonderful broadcast that we're gonna share, me and my brother. Big shout out to brother Roberts. You know, he's going through some transitions, man. What's up, Ed? What's up, Shantae? We see you, boy. You see it? Can y'all hear us good out there? Yeah, they can hear us. They can hear us. We gotta get our share game on, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in. We are definitely giving reverence to MLK today, man. Got my brother, Aaron Spencer.
Good to see y'all.
Man, good. That's right. You got yours up.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go and we're gonna get these out there real quick. That's right. Preach, brother Jaleel. Let me. Oh, you turn it down a little bit. Hey, what's going on, Miss Bada? We see you out there holding it down. Hey, what's going on, Miss Bada? We see you out there holding it down. So if you can share this with your network. What's up, brother Ed? Big A-Town stepping, man. What's going on, man? Had a good conversation with my brother yesterday, man. We channeling that spirit of King, bro. We keeping it going. You know, we're going to have some real live discussion about where we are as a culture, man. Will he be happy with any of this going on right now? You know, the jury is out, right? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We also on YouTube. We're on YouTube as well. So if you want to tap in to Royale X or you want to tap in to Fli-City Blackout, man, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate everybody just tapping in with us. So, man, while we getting it in, man, what's up, Shotty Shaw? We see you, man. Appreciate you for always standing 10 toes down. Big shout out to Edward Johnson, man. Big shout out to you, man. Appreciate y'all for always supporting. Appreciate you, Shantae, for tapping in, always being a good brother. You know, that's what we imps do, man. You see what's going on the shirt. You know what time it is. Brother Jaleel, man. Big shout out to NOI, FOI, man, my family, brothers. We do have Savior Day coming up next month, man. So we getting ready for that, right? So while I'm dialing in and getting a few things lined up, man, want you, my brother Aaron, man, I want to welcome you all to another good brother, man, just coming home. Man, been a good brother since we was little kids, man. We came up in the sandbox together, man. When you talk about, you know, running around in Superman drawers and Ninja Turtle shirts, man, you know what I'm saying? We come up like that. And so, man, just to see my brother in the mix, a good, solid brother, you know what I'm saying? And one that you can always depend on and count on, man, when you're talking about us in these communities, in the neighborhood, you know, riding bikes, doing backflips, right? Playing football in a neighbor's yard, man, just getting to it, man. This is a real life day one. So why don't you introduce yourself, man, and give them a round of who you are.
Okay, well, first off, my name is Aaron Simpson. I've been around community for quite some time. Flint, Michigan, born and raised. You know, as far as education, Flint, Michigan, born and educated. Been a lot of places, a lot of different educations, a lot of trades. But for the most part, I've been grounded with coming out of the community and being, advocate for the people that I can rub shoulders with. And DeWaun has been influential in my life for a very long time. So I'm always enlightened and indebted to come help out the brother when it comes to talking about some good words for the community and what statues and figures have done for us, and are we still fulfilling that dream in the future?
Man, I'm telling you, man, that's a good way to put it, man. So we giving reverence to MLK, right? There's something going on with the stream, with the comments. We talking about MLK. We're talking about I see, Brother Jalil. So we giving reverence to MLK today, right?
Right.
We talking about all the challenges and tribulations. When you're talking about what this man has meant to history, when you're talking about what he means to this country, to the culture, and all the things that he's have embarked on and look to be able to change. When you're looking at voting laws, we talk about basic civil rights. That man has dedicated his life for us to be in these situations today. And so when we look back at the years and the time that he's put in, I wanna get some real conversation about where we are as a community, where we are as it relates to what we expect from us as Black people in this country. Man, what is your take, man, as far as the brother's dream and then also us as a reality? Where you feel we are?
Well, I feel like we still got a lot of work to do. I feel like we maybe halfway, if not 75%, like as far as fulfilling the dream of what he wanted to see leading off where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, we all entitled to opinion. So
yeah,
in my opinion, I feel like we're not quite there, but I feel like Dr. Martin Luther King's accomplishments before he had left us, it was a lot for a person of his stature
mm-hmm.
to what's the word I'm looking for, to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I feel like we still got a lot of work to do because we still need everyone to participate and get on the same accord, not just the Black people. We need everyone to understand what the vision was about and what it's for, in my opinion.
Nah, you know what? And I agree, man. When you got fellas like that, man, that sacrifice everything,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we take it for granted. When those people been out there on the front line when, they was advocating for fair treatment. When you talk about fair housing here in the city of Flint, when you talking about when they did the Montgomery bus boycott,
Mm-hmm.
right, for 385 days, those folks sacrificed for 385 days just to really kind of erupt the transportation system in the South. But that's really just giving us some sense of a balance, right? Saying like, man, we're not accepting this old sitting in the back of the bus type stuff. We're just not gonna do that no more. Just like in our community, man, when we're talking about accepting the bare minimum and oppression, and when you're talking about how everything is feeling like, like the resources is not coming down to, people like us in the city, like not even just in our community. This is happening nationwide. This is happening in every community where there's Black people at.
Do you feel like it's a minority that is happening to, or just?
I think it's more of a, it is a minority, but when you look at the shape up and the makeup of this country, man, they look at Black people as the minority. To be honest with you, in the world, Black people are not the minority.
Correct.
And so when you're talking about, fighting for equality, when you look at the Montgomery bus boycott, folks was organized.
Mm-hmm.
People was dedicated towards the cause. People had stood up when it was unpopular. People sacrificed, whether it was not going to work, whether it's not going to school, because you had women and children out there on the front line. when you had people that were just really kind of dedicated and saying like, you know what, we're gonna stand because this is the right thing to do. That's what we're talking about being organized. And Martin Luther King, when you talk about a key contributor to the culture, man, that brother organized. Like in our community, we're not organized. That's why stuff is happening the way like that. You know, it's happening, right?
I want to say another thing too before we get up to subject or topic of. I think more so he was more not militant. He was militant, but he wasn't. He used his mind more so than trying to use altercation or you know, insult to anything, any insult to injury, I would say.
That's right.
So I think we need to get back to more of that as far as, you know, more education, and what with education comes, you know, being able to talk and debate about things.
Mm-hmm. What's up, John Doe? What's going on, cuz? What's going on, Dutch Noble? We see you out there, man. Be checking out, be on the lookout, man. Dutch Noble and them is gearing up to do a podcast too, so we want to shed some light on them. Give a shout out to them. We just lost our great aunt today, man, and you know, it's a very sad day because she was a very strong woman. She was a very positive woman. She was a very spiritual woman, right? And she didn't play no games. So big shout out to all our family in Mississippi. You know, shout out to the Crowder family. You know, we took a loss on this one, but you know, we're gonna continue to keep carrying her name. We will connect with her in the spirit. Always remember we locked in forever. You know, appreciate you, John Doe, man. That mean a lot, man. You know, that was some very heartbreaking news that we received this morning. She's been in the hospital since New Year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So unfortunately, you know, she did make that transition this morning, and so we got to make some decisions as it relates to you know, next steps and what we need to do as a family down there in Mississippi. So appreciate y'all. Appreciate the family. Peace and love to all the family members that's out there. You know, we're gonna continue to keep loving on each other and staying connected, man. So you know, getting back to the topic at hand, when we talking about, you know, the contributions that was made and, you know, drawing a line in the sand. What's up, Bada? I see you saying Aaron. Bada is asking, what side is you on, right? Are you on the side of the righteousness? Are you on this side, or what side you on, eh?
Oh yeah, you know, I'm on the side of the righteousness for sure. You know, I gotta rep my people, you know, no matter what. But you know, I also, you know, been grounded with, as DeWaun also said, I've just been incarcerated wrongfully for the past 5 months. And you know, I had to learn some things while I was in there as far as politics and having the right attitude and, you know, just not faking it. You know, I had to really be of it. So I'm definitely for my people, you know, for sure first. And, you know, because our culture was stolen. So, you know, we definitely got to know who we are first as the people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now that's
for us.
So you hear that, Bada? He on this side, Bada, you know, as it relates, and I think she was referring to we do have some transitions here in the city as it relates to leadership and things of that nature, which we will dive right into. But I want to make sure that we kind of talk about some of the things and the challenges that we are facing. So our question of today is MLK, Martin Luther King dream a reality? And I want us to think about that. You know, when you're talking about, like, we kind of coordinated and actually touched up on a few things and topics. We talk about the brother organized and march for Black voting rights. Are we taking advantage of, you know, when we talking about voting in this community, when we talking about voting in America, our people sacrificed, our people died, you know, people was on the front line for us to be able to vote, right? Yeah. And so do you feel like in this community, do you feel like we are taking advantage of what people have laid their life down to be able to, for us to have opportunity and to be able to vote, to have fair elections, to practice in democracy, to be able to elect leadership that you believe in, you know, that's going to work for you and fight for you? Do you feel like, you know, us in this community, that we are taking advantage of that?
It's a good question. And I'm gonna say no. I don't feel like we taking full advantage of it because now they got it to where, you know, if you're a felon and you're just getting out of jail or if you're just getting out of prison, that they're making it eligible for you to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so we was missing a lot of that, even with people out. You know, it's a lot of people not voting. You know what I mean? Not taking advantage of the minority vote that we have. So it's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if we look more into the future instead of the present, and, you know, we think about us as a whole, the kids, the children, and what we want, you know, politics to do for the people that vote.
Yeah.
We got to be more instrumental and get our knowledge up of what we're doing and what's going on.
Right. So I think that's a thing of saying, like, in the city right now, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. You know, we voting at about, let's say, 12 to 13%.
Right.
In a city of 90,000 people, and you may have about 60 people eligible to vote. We are voting at 12, 13%. So when we have these debates about, you know, people who are not working on our behalf, or we don't have enough votes on city council, then you have to understand that a lot of us is not participating in democracy. A lot of us is not going out to vote. A lot of us is not engaged into the practice. We may not even know nothing about the background of these people. We have, you know, a serious issue where we want things done, but we ain't willing to put the legwork in. I know it takes a lot for you to get off work or go vote, right? You know, it shouldn't. But the thing is, it's important because just like in our community now, you got a slate of recalls taking place because we voted for these people who are not, who may not be working on our behalf, who may be getting, you know, change on the back end, right? You know what I'm saying? And selling themselves short. That's what's happening right now. So then when you talk about MLK fighting for us to be able to vote, and then we get the opportunity to vote and we're not taking advantage of it, I think that does that brother a disservice.
I agree.
I think, you know, we taking him in vain. Like we not doing and we not setting out what he and others like him expected us to do. We really supposed to take hold of this. We supposed to be looking at it like, okay, well, we're gonna get our people in position. We're gonna make sure that we voting our folks in, right? And we're gonna make sure that we got some representation at those tables for us. When we do that, right, then we have a voice. We have a reason to be able to complain. We can say these things. But if we're not participating in voting, if we're not really like vetting these folks out, if we're not raising up the next generation of leaders, then we doing ourselves a disservice. And when you got a brother like MLK, man, who took the opportunity to, you know, sacrifice himself, man, for us to be a change, sacrifice, you know, his family, spending time with his children, house being bombed, right? Just because he was out there on the front line, willing to make a difference. And then we don't vote, man, that's like a slap in the brother's face. And we all have to take responsibility for that. If we ain't waking folks up, what's up? What's up, E? I see. Shout out to Juice Gems. If we not waking each other up, if we ain't supporting each other, if we ain't, you know, at least going out our way to say, hey, listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we got right people there at the table, because we need 5 votes at city council. Mm-hmm. If you don't got the 5 votes, then you can't really move nothing. Right now, we don't have the support at city council because we don't have the 5 votes. And then we have to look it upon ourselves as a community is because, hey, listen, we didn't get out to vote. And don't get me wrong, voting is not the only thing. Voting is not the only thing that we got to do. Now, we have to be present at these meetings. And I know one thing we talked about, we're going to be more present at these city council meetings and at these county meetings, even school board meetings, because that's the future. We have to be present, but not only, we have to hold these folks accountable. You have to make sure that you hold people accountable. Otherwise, they're going to do whatever they want to do. They're not going to get back with you. And that's what we're getting today. Like that's what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. So, are you a registered voter?
I am.
Right? So, you take the liberty of voting?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay. So, do you take it upon yourself to tell your peers and your homeboys, your family, hey, listen, man, you know what? We got to get out there and make a difference. We got to be the difference.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. I think I was more influential about it as I grew up, a little more and got more mature. But
Mhm.
as a immature young man, I didn't really have the knowledge on why I'm doing this and why should I spread the gospel. And you made a good point about it doing a disservice to Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
And like I said, I just think it's time for us all to be more influential and have voices
Mhm.
to people that just don't know. You know what I mean?
You know, and I'm glad that you said that because you know, we don't have these necessary conversations in our neighborhood. We don't have conversations when we hang in, when we shucking and jiving, when we spend the time.
Mhm.
Like I suggest that we have more conversations. And I see Juan, Terrence, all of us in our age range. Like we should be having more building conversations, talking about, hey, what we gonna do as far as like it's our time. It's our time to be making a difference.
Mhm.
So we have to go ahead and step up and do what's necessary. So when we having conversations, when we building, we need to be talking about things that, you know, that brother was laying down or some of the things that, you know, we can embark on now. Right. And I see you about it talking about the organizing for the signatures in MLK. That's for sure. Right. You
What's
know,
up, E?
one thing for sure myself, I know I've been out there getting to it. Right. So, you know, I mean, we organize and we trying to make sure that we address the issue. But even then, after we recall, he crazy. After we recall uh individuals, then we must put some folks in place that's gonna be able to step up and not be the same thing. You know, I for one, like man, you know, these last few people, and let's look at the second war. These last few people in the second war, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what we expect. You know, I'm even the one before. You know, when we talk about Maurice Davis, you know what I'm saying? I just thought that was, you know, a terrible thing, man, when the brother had, you know, went and ran around with Mike Pence and all them and, you know, was, you know, going down, you know, to the Capitol and doing the insurrection down there on January 6th. I thought that stuff was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like in all honesty, we need to be looking at how we putting up folks, who's next. If we ain't looking at it like that, or you know, training somebody to come up next in that area, it's gonna be the same old stuff. And then one thing for sure, one thing that I respected about MLK before he died, he was talking about economics. He was talking about we got to get our money. He was talking about going to Washington to get that check. And then that's when the game changed. Because if we got our finances together, when we got our money together, and we got our resources together, and we strong, then they're gonna have to come see us anyway. You got to come through us, right? But if we ain't got our collective power, or we got dollars and cents making money, and you know what I mean, and we got our flow together, then we're not going to be sitting up there be looked at as a stakeholder, community stakeholder. And we just got to be honest with ourselves. One thing for sure, we need to be very educated. We be understanding the game. We need to understand how these laws work. We got to understand roles and responsibility of elected leaders, right? From your city council, which is a co-equal branch of government with the city administration. You need to understand those rules and parameters. If you don't understand who to ask or who to talk to for a specific issue, then you're not going to get the right answers, right? And that's something that we got to take upon ourselves. They don't teach civic in school no more. They don't talk about it, right? You know, they don't even talk. You don't even teach them signature, right? They barely just really kind of teaching these folks the bare basic minimum. But it's on us to really show our community, but show our young people, hey, this is what we need our youth to be knowing. This is how we need to make an impression on the world of today. This is where we need to make sure our young people are competitive, where we not feeling like we the permanent lower class. Because that's what's going on when you living in a capitalistic country and you ain't got capital, then you're not a force. And I appreciate Martin for standing strong on that and saying, like, bro, we got to be about our paper. We got to be about our money. We got to go make it happen. And then we got to pull our resources together, whether we doing co-ops, right? We investing with one another. We creating credit unions in our neighborhoods to be able to give out small business startup loans to minority-led organizations and agencies. That's how you start winning, start pulling those pools together. And then people gonna respect your vote. But when we sit up here running around here and we don't have the decency to say, hey, listen, we got our situation in order, we got our structures in place, we got our neighborhoods, we own the properties in our neighborhoods. If we not on that, then nobody's gonna respect us. And I want us to understand, like, nobody's gonna respect that. And Martin was laying it down when he talking about that. And one thing when he's talking about black voting rights and making sure that we had a voice, we had to go ahead and make sure that we followed through on those type of orders. And one thing when I be saying about having objectives, if we got objectives, we got to follow it all the way through. So just like they talking about this recall right now, the recall is the recall of Dale Lewis in the Second War, right? You want to be able to say, hey, listen, all right, this is the strategy. We're going to recall this person, and then we're going to put somebody in that's going to represent us, but then also we're going to stay connected to that person so they don't deviate from the plan. A lot of people get in position and they deviate from the plan. So, like, say, for instance, like we running you, and we've been working with you. You get in the office, you get into a position, and then you start acting like the white folks. You start going against the black community. You start voting on issues that doesn't benefit us. Now we have to hold you accountable. Now we have to recall you. How do we stop those barriers? Because that happens on a regular with Flint City. That happens on a regular with any community. That happens on a regular with a lot of people that get in position and then they switch up on you. How do you hold folks accountable and you keep it in blood?
That's a good question, man. It's gonna be a lot of traitors in the system. It's gonna be a lot of bribery out there. It has to be some type of loyalty. It's with a whole team knowing that it's only gonna be one spokesman at the top. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it has to be some type of understanding that one the bridge to help that one person, be the spokesperson and the face for us.
Yeah.
And I guess we all have to, play our part and be, like you were saying, have more meetings and more gatherings so we have an understanding, almost like a contract.
Right. I like that.
So with that being said, it was a lot of things revolving around Dr. Martin Luther King losing his life, unfortunately. And, for history to not repeat itself, we have to be more instrumental as the people and make alliances with other type of people to let them know, hey, we watching, and we all gonna go to the furthest extent, just like this person is.
Yeah.
So we can't be scared, man. In my opinion, we gotta be full minded. We gotta go with all our might when we give it to them. All of us.
No, I think so. What the brother is saying, man, that's a collective power that we got to be on. Like, everybody got to be on the same team. Everybody got to be pulling the same weight.
Absolutely.
It's like everybody got to be on code, man. So if we want to make sure that we don't, take the brother in vain, and we want to protect black voting rights, we got to change that 13% into 75%. You go into white communities, man, they voting at 70, 80%. They not sitting up there playing these games. And if you sitting up there being an advocate, you gonna go ahead and make sure you doing your job with organizing and ensuring that you get the necessary resources that you want for your area, for your city. Like, we have to start internalizing that. Like, stop being so caught up in being in this world, right? Everybody's so distracted. Not everybody's so distracted. Everybody wants something, but ain't willing to put the work in to get it. We ain't willing to say, like, hey, listen, collectively, we're going to be working together to make sure we change this community. It's been far too long the city of Flint been looking like this. In other ghettos and black neighborhoods in the community. That's a disgrace. So if we want to see some change, if we want to be about change, then we have to make sure that we be the ones to orchestrate the change. And that starts today. I don't want us to go another season in this position, man, where, we have to feel like, we got people to count on that let us down. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right.
So moving to our next thing when we're talking about desegregation, and I want to touch up on this too. When it be come down to this country, what's up, country cuz? Yeah, what's up, boy? See, what's when we talking about desegregation? Do you believe what MLK said when he said, "Man, I think I led my people into a burning house"? Do you really know what he meant when he said that?
I'm not really sure.
But you take a guess of what you think he meant.
I think he meant he led his people into a situation that was almost doomed or almost life threatening without warning. I guess I'm not sure, but that's what I'm guessing he meant.
Okay. I mean, I would say too, man, when you talk about what he means as far as desegregation, I feel like, man, he had good intent. He had good intent when we talking about, yeah, it's good to be with everybody. It's good to fight for the causes for everybody in this world. And I believe that, right? But then also I believe that when you come to the table representing, then you have to have your stuff together. I can't go clean up down the street. I can't pick up trash down the street if I haven't cleaned up my own yard. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that. So when he said that, I believe I led my people into a burning house. When we talking about segregation, desegregation, we were at our strongest when we had to depend on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So just like in the neighborhood here, when you got, Oak Street, you got historical neighborhood here in the city of Flint, right? Just like you have historical neighborhoods all around the country. We are best when we are dependent on each other, when we got our own resources in our neighborhood, when we got our own schools in our neighborhood, when we got our own mom and pop shops, corner stores, gas stations, movie theaters, banks, right? All in our neighborhood that's owned and operated by us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel when we start, wanting to move out to Grand Blanc, you got these brothers, man, that want to get out the neighborhood, want to move out there in the boonies. You want to move to Fenton. You want to build a house out in Fenton by the lake, right? You know what I'm saying? It's your money. Don't respect it. Or you want to be away from the hood, per se, and you want to go over there and live in a comfortable neighborhood where you can leave your doors unlocked. You know what I'm saying? I think more or less it's more attractive if you build up the hood and the ghettos. Because what happens is a lot of us want to move out the neighborhood for various reasons. And then we find ourselves going out to these communities and neighborhoods where you're not welcome, you're not wanted, right?
Right.
But that's where you want to be.
Right.
And ultimately, you leave your neighborhood to go be around other people that necessarily don't want you out there, but you feel the need to do so because you want to, move your family in a better situation. It may be schools, it may be, tax base, whatever. Why don't we think about fixing up the ghettos in the neighborhoods that we come from, the hoods that we lived in, the areas where our family is still at? Why don't we take the time out to build up those areas?
We should, and I think that's basically like starting generational wealth, right? And I think a lot of the time we don't really understand that during this season, the past 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, we had a difference in mortgage and what we can go rent and what we can go own in these neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? They made it hard, or they raised the interest in the percentages up for colored folk. And if people don't know that fact, go look it up. You can go look it up on Google. You can go look up the interest rates. You can go look up how much it costs to go own a house, who's own a house, the percentages of the color. So I think more so, you know, when you're striving for perfection in life and you're doing what you got to do, we do want the most for our families. We do want the most for our extended family and friends of family, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we got to think for us once again. We trying to start generational wealth, and no knock on white people, but they do it in a way that, you know, their kids are marrying their friends' kids.
Okay.
And they marry their kids into the wealth and into the families, and they keep families and they pass the houses and stuff down. So we need to think like that too, also, but at the same time, where we come from in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, no, I think the brother making a valid point. Like, you know, we have to be very strategic how we setting up generations that's coming up after us. Nobody wants to be in a poor situation. And I agree. You don't want to live in an area where, you know, it's a lot of crime, a lot of activity taking place, right? You know, no city services is going on,
Right.
trash everywhere, right? You know, you don't want to live like that. But the thing is this, you have the opportunity to change that.
Absolutely.
You have the power. And like folks in these areas, in these communities, in this neighborhood have the power to do that.
Absolutely.
We don't have to live like that. So what I be thinking and what I be saying is, you know, it takes upon us to be able to create our environment the way we see fit. Like if we want schools, right? If we want schools to be established and we want high educational centers and community centers in our areas, that falls on us to build up. Point blank. We have to own the houses in our neighborhood to support that school. You always think like, man, they always say like, man, when the school go down in the neighborhood, always understand that that neighborhood is on the way down. So if you look around the city of Flint, when you see all these schools, and we got 1,000 of them around here, you see all these schools going down, you see the neighborhood is quick to follow suit. So it's upon us, right? We have to get back to owning our properties. We got to get back to, you know, taking care of our business in our neighborhoods. We have to get back to protecting our neighborhoods, right? We have to stop all that vandalism, all the crime, the drugs, all those different things, man, that bring a neighborhood down.
Absolutely.
We can't sit up here and say we want better if we ain't doing better. And I think that's where we be falling short at. You know, everybody want to do better, everybody want better. But it's like until we start doing better about ourselves, then, you know, nothing is gonna change, nothing's gonna happen. Ain't nobody coming to do this work for us. They not coming to fix this community up for you.
I think we live by, I think what's going on now and for a long time before now is, you know, a lot of people want to see you doing good, but never better than that. So even on the white people side, they, you know, they want to see people doing good, but guess what? They going back to $1 million homes. They going back to $100,000 homes. Not saying that they didn't work hard for it, but just think, you got a whole minority community that got education that's doing just as good as these people in Livonia and Warren or wherever you want to say out in Detroit and these Southfield. They don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, they don't want to see it. But the thing is, you know, you're right. People don't want you to see, they don't want to see you doing better than them. But like if it's a love for us and this is a value for us and where we come up from, if I don't want to see you do good, then it's a problem with me.
Right.
Right. If I don't want to see you in a position that you taking care of yourself and your people, your family, right? You're looking good and you got money and you're doing things that you like to do, then I'm a hater.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Because I have the same opportunity to get exactly what you got, if not more, right? The thing is, it's a mindset thing. Some of our people are so twisted and messed up, it's crazy. Some of y'all fools is crazy. Some of y'all that look like us is retarded. Now, I mean, I'm gonna say retarded, but you acting stupid. You acting dumb. You don't want to see a person like you come up. You don't want to see a person that look like you stand on business. You don't want to see nobody like you that's doing well for themselves and taking care of their children, right? That's the problem with us. And like, man, when you look at Martin Luther King, you know, some of them Southern black pastors, man, that took that brother down. Let me say that again. It was some of the same black folks, man, that looked like that brother, man, that eventually took that brother down.
They sold him out.
Sold him out. You got brothers like Jesse Jackson, and you got brothers like, Lightfoot Solomon, right? You got these plants, and that's what we were talking about when we saying like these spies and these plants in this community, and in our culture, they look like us. And Mrs. Deloney always said this, like, man, you might look like me, but you're not my kind. That's a real statement. I hold true to that. Like, she be absolutely right about that. Some of y'all look like us, but y'all definitely not our kind. You got hate in your blood. You don't even love yourself. You don't even value yourself. But you want to come out here and talk about what we need to do as a community. But you ain't doing nothing that's going to contribute to us moving forward, advancing this mission. You need to sit your ass down. That's a detriment for what we doing. If you ain't on this bus, if you ain't trying to make a way, if you ain't trying to do something that's going to be productive, if you ain't trying to, help the generation of youth that's coming up right after you, if you're not doing that, then you need to be on the sideline. And a lot of times, a lot of these elders too, man, that be in the way.
We love the elders. We love the elders for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, as you're trying to say, you got to fall for grace.
Yeah. Nah, you right. I agree. I agree. Actually, I love my elders, and they know I do.
For sure.
I love the ones that really, that's been putting it down. I really do. I appreciate, folks like Dr. E. Hill Deloney. I appreciate, brothers like Reverend Flowers. I appreciate them, right? You know what I'm saying? Because these are legendary. These are elders that's been doing the work. I appreciate, like the Woodrow Stanleys, right? I appreciate them. They've been really doing the work and really care about our circumstance. And then they did what's necessary to get in position to make it change. But like, then we got some of these folks, man, that's stagnant. And we got some of these people that's not playing the part because, either they done sold out, right? They feel like, they being fed bad information, or they just ain't got it all together. And that's what keeps us in a bind. And so what it is this is a plea when we saying like what Martin Luther King stand for. Let's not get together every January for his birthday and just forget about, what he committed to doing. Let's not forget about the missions, the sacrifices that everybody who was in that struggle during that time, let's not forget what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not just get together in January to have a dinner, right? Or throw a fundraiser if it ain't going toward a specific cause. Let's be very diligent about our actions. Let's be about National Day of Service. But then also not just a day, man. Let's make sure that we doing service all year. Right?
Absolutely.
Let's make sure that everything counts. Because I don't see the point of us doing these things that's not moving the culture or this community forward.
We got to understand that steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main cause of what the movement is going to be about. It's because, I don't know something about this field. I can learn from you. I'm learning every day by being here and putting in my time being with Mr. Robinson here. So
I appreciate you.
Me.
As a young brother, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being in the mix. Even looking at what Brother Edwards is saying, how do we orchestrate change when people see the issues differently? Some people argue for us to stay the same. How do you take that?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, like they always say, change is good for anybody. Staying the same, it's not always the best. I think change is good to change, because if you're the same, if we're doing the same thing and getting the same results, it's going to drive us crazy as the people.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a step away from being insane if you keep doing the same things and thinking you're going to get different results?
Yeah.
That's almost insanity.
Yeah.
So I think you know, as the time goes and progresses, that we go through more as people, because I'm pretty sure they went through a whole lot during Malcolm's time. As you just said, you know, they bombed his house, and, you know, he went through all of these adversities and situations. We may go through that now, but it's more so still the elders that mysteriously catch the bad end of the stick, and we don't understand why, or we get to it late. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, we gotta protect these people.
Yeah.
And diligently preach the point. As Brother Jalil said, I was seeing him saying something about the bus systems and a lot of different things that we need in the community. We got to be adamant about that and keep preaching that. Is just like when I was incarcerated, I was preaching my innocence, in which I knew I was innocent, but I had to, you know, keep my foot on the neck of prosecutors and the judge until they had to look into the evidence. So, with that being said, we had to also bring out the not Bill of Rights, but the constitutional rights.
That's right. So you have these different laws and these different standards, right, for a reason. And like, even though that it may not be built, you know, for us per se, then if we not gonna destroy that, then we have to find ways to utilize, tweak it, make it work for us, right? Like you were saying, like when you was in a bind, right, you had to learn them constitutional rights, right? You had to understand them laws, in a loophole, right? However you can get it, right? Those are things that we have to understand, that we in a game, we in a system. And if we ain't changing the system and we got to live in this system, then we have to do what's necessary to change the circumstances of this system. So no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Everybody got to step up. Everybody got to make a difference. Everybody got to go ahead and start looking at, let me put Bot up here. Everybody got to start making it count. And until we start making it count and do it with sense, man, you know, we're gonna keep on getting these same outcomes. So, man, I know for me, man, I'm just like sick and tired of feeling like, you know, we have to stay this or be in this lower class. I'm just over that, right? Those things is like something I can't accept. So, you know, for us as Black people in this community, in this culture, when you talk about the city of Flint, man, let's talk about the city of Flint. When you talk about the city of Flint, you know, we're in a dire situation right now, right? Folks still folks still have to live in these areas where the school system is down. Nobody shows up to the school board meetings. Nobody has faith, I guess, in a vision for the future. Even though that we did get some new electees at school board, and big shout out to everybody who changed roles and got positions. I know Joyce is the president now, so big shout out to everybody on the school board. You know, I'm definitely a supporter of folks on the school board, because at the end of the day, you are the guys that's going to be able to make a way for our children, right? And we're talking about building new buildings, however that looks. We're trying to have a competitive curriculum. We want to have teachers that's paid, that feel like they want to go into these schools and work with the children. They want to, dedicate themselves to making a difference in the next generation. I respect that. That's one of the hardest jobs known to this world, is being able to raise the next generation of children and leaders. If you are doing that, it is big kudos to you. And I've always supported teachers. I was a teacher myself. So, I understand putting together a lesson plan, making sure that you teaching children and you raising them up, right? So they can be all they can be, right? We just don't want to just pacify and just have another generation of, people who don't have no skill set. And so when you're going through school, you're going to have those type of skills. You have to have that type of intel. You're going to have to be able to equip yourself with the knowledge that's going to put you in a position to advance, right? So, man, always big shout out to that. But like when you're talking about our city leadership downtown, man, I just be looking at this stuff, man. I'd be so dissatisfied. I'd be so upset. I'd be just like, man, I don't understand like none of the moves that's being made down there. I don't know how, we allow this to, for this to be. I don't know why we not sitting up here, having those chambers full, right? And so, man, I'm just really kind of feeling a certain type of way about, our, I guess our circumstances, our standards right now. But I am definitely dedicated to being the difference. I'm dedicated to being out there to do whatever I can, whether it be in helping, restructuring the city council. That means, assisting with, getting a effective and efficient mayor in position, right? I'm with all that, right? And
Absolutely.
and as us as young people, man, we willing to do our part. So I want to bring up somebody else too. When you're talking about, okay, what's going on, Shell? How you doing? Big shout out to you. Thank you for joining the broadcast. She said you got to put the work in, sweat equity, tough love. You have to go ahead and do something about your circumstances. When you get up in the morning, don't you get up to go ahead and make the donut, right? So then that way you can live a prosperous life. You have to be able to get up and put the sweat equity in.
Yeah, sure.
You have to go ahead and be dedicated to, doing something to change the circumstance. Like that's just how that goes. So I appreciate when you saying that, Shell. Like we do got to be about some business. We got to be about what's next for us. And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel Fli-City Blackout. If everybody on the broadcast, be sure to like it, share it, right? We appreciate all the support. We're just trying to make sure that we be a voice for the culture, be a voice for us. Continue to keep setting the tone for, what's next in this community. But all the while, man, we got to be about changes. I'm just looking at where we're going to be in the next 40 years.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think about it, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it is. If we don't have a vision or a plan, then it's gonna be real scary.
Yeah. I wanted to go back on the thing that Michelle was saying about how can we spark the interest of people to get interested in the stuff we're supposed to be doing before it's too late.
Yeah.
I think the appeal of having people interested, people, when it's a sale on shoes and Jordans and clothes and different things, when the price is lowered or something, they put it in a query in it. That's when people want to be interested in it and they want to participate. So I guess we need some type of jingle or some type of situation to where we lure people in and they take what we give in, and at the same time we sparking the interest to get them to be like, you know what, I need to do that. I just haven't did it. And who can I talk to do it?
So how do we spark the interest?
Sparking the interest. I guess it could be anything from like they did back in the day, community brunches, to luncheons, watches, something that brings the people together and letting them know that everything is going to be all right. We all need to talk because we all the same people in just in different eyes. We all go through some of the same familiarities, familiar with the same struggles, right? Especially when it's these holiday times, right?
Yeah.
So during those times is the most times where we need to understand that, well, we going through this tough time because of the government is going through this time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be that. We should be understanding the circle of times that they're putting us through and how it makes us come closer because we have to adapt. So right now, we almost went through a government shutdown. The funds ain't right now. So when the funds ain't right, we got fundraisers, we got giveaways, we got things of that and that's making people light up in a time of need.
Yeah.
So those are the times, in my opinion, we need to address that and persuade people to roll with growing up and thinking about their future instead of thinking about tonight and right now.
I just made a status. I want to say, white people plan 3 generations up.
Mm-mm.
while we planning for Saturday night.
Ain't that cold?
That's a cold piece. Like, you know, we'll come out when, say for instance, an artist come to the city.
Right.
But when it's time for us to come out in May, when this election take place for this special election in the 7th Ward, how many of us gonna show up?
At least a handful.
At least in that ward. How many of us is promoting that information? How many of us is throwing parties, um, uh, a voting party during that time?
You're right.
But then after that, you know, when nothing being done here in the city, then we gonna be the first one saying like, "Oh man, you know, we ain't got nobody that's looking out for us," or you know, that city council is a circus. You know, people watch that stuff, you know, to be entertained. People not watching that stuff just really see resolutions being passed. They watching that stuff to be entertained. They seeing Eric getting kicked out, Eric going through the motion. Just like Eric just went through a court proceeding today about him being kicked out for 90 days. You know, they kicked Eric out for 90 days, right?
I heard.
So, you know, he had a court hearing today. I've heard a little bit about it. I did watch a little bit of it, but in the end, they voted against him. And all that to say, like, man, a lot of times people just go for this as entertainment. You got all these folks doing TikToks. You got all these different podcasts and media groups is just doing stuff just to watch this stuff as a circus and then get on there and really clown it and make satire out of it. And I don't think that type of stuff is funny because these folks is really in position to govern reality. They in it to govern people's lives. And if folks think this is a circus, people just want to play games and want to laugh and think this stuff is funny, then the joke is on us. We got to be very serious about what we looking like and how we gonna move. Like, we got to have respect at our local municipalities and our governments. We have to be able to hold folks accountable to being not about a show or not about, you know, getting likes and views, not about, you know, just being a disruptor. None of that nonsense, man. Because at the end of the day, man, people don't care about that. Like, people who really just want to get some stuff done, they don't care about you and, you know, all your policies and all this stuff being, you know, like, you know, love and hip hop at city council. Anybody got time for that? People dying out here, bro.
Absolutely, you're right.
People out here incarcerated. You know, they trying to come home. They trying to put themselves in a better situation, and we ain't got nothing for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a real thing. We ain't got no jobs lined up. We not attracting businesses to the city. We not trying to make, you know, this city a robust community. It's like those things is not on the focus. We can't even get a resolution passed at City Hall because people so at odds with each other. The personality clashes. Martin Luther King be rolling over his grave if he watched this stuff going on right now. All the folks that fought, Rosa Parks, the Malcolm X's, we need a Malcolm X day because he wouldn't be playing this stuff.
We definitely need a Malcolm X day.
We need a Marcus Garvey day. We need those type of figures. Like back in the day, people were organized. People were organized. People be really dedicated about doing something. People will be following through, just like with the Black Panthers out there in Oakland and LA. They came together. They were strong about what they wanted. They were dedicated and following through. They had a breakfast program. They fed women and children, which now is the government program, which is the WIC. But they stole that from the Black Panthers. So when you see us being in a movement like that, when you see us being dedicated, even at those times when it was much harder, we don't got no excuses today. I just think that everybody's so distracted. People don't want no change. People don't want to see no good. You fighting on this side, you want to be on this side, you want to be on this side. At the end of the day, you know, that's what the powers that be, they want that to take place. They want you to be at odds. They want you to fight with each other. They want those plants and those spies to go in different communities and be about that. I don't got no respect for nobody who sit up here and go against their own kind and sit up here be a flip-flop. I be saying that stuff about the Wilson. Like, man, that be that flip-flop stuff I can't respect. You're on this side one day, right? And then you're on this side another day. You ain't got no standing. You ain't got no respect. The person that stand on principle, they don't respect that stuff. That is plant work. It is like you just coming into a community, coming causing disruption and getting paid to do it, right? We'll put up this facade like you stand for something, you stand for, righteousness, or you stand for the community. Well, you ain't nothing but a joke. And I read and did research on Lightfoot Solomon. That was a bad dude that, he had the Nation ear, he had his CBS radio station. So he was one of the prominent black figures back in the day. His whole thing was to work with Edgar Hoover and the FBI to discredit Martin Luther King. He wasn't sitting up there talking truth. His whole thing was to discredit this brother, man, that's out here on the front lines. Didn't nobody respect that? Didn't nobody respect Solomon? Lightfoot Solomon would never go down in history as a culture champion. And some folks be jealous. Some people be hating. Some people be hating on people that's out here that's got influence. People listen to you. People come to you. People want to hear your word because you mean something. You ain't never lied to folks. You ain't never led them down the wrong path. And you not no flip-flop type of person. Like for me, I ain't never been no flip-flop type of person. If we on a losing team, which we on a losing team right now, we out of position. Let me just say that. We out of position. We ain't got the 5 votes down in city council. And we ain't in the graces of the mayor because we don't bend and fold. I respect what Cat Williams was saying. I got all the receipts, right? I could walk around and be comfortable about how I'm living, about what I'm saying, and how I portray myself. It's because I've been there since the day one I stepped in. I ain't never flipped on nobody. I ain't never got paid to sit up here, go against my kind. I ain't never sit up here wanted to be a detriment to the black community. I never would do that. There ain't no amount of money for me to sell out for nothing. Even when I was in the streets, I would never sell out for nothing. We don't go turn coat on my people. If I'm out there with you, what's the point of me sitting up here talking about some stuff? You stand strong. You stand on principle, 10 toes down until we come up. That's how folks got to be. Like, I don't care if we ain't never going to get in the door. As long as I say, like, listen, man, we always know what we stood for. Like, we're going to go die like this. We're going to go out like this. We're going to stand on principle to the end. People respect that. And we ain't got enough leaders in this community to be standing on that. We ain't got enough leaders in this culture, in this country, to be moving like that. You wonder why they always kill them folks off. Or they get folks to discredit them. And people that look like us be so happy to do that stuff. You want to be sitting at the table getting information and taking it back to the enemy. That's always been sucker stuff. That always been a detriment for us. That always gonna keep us at the bottom. That's always gonna keep us asking for more with our hand out. Some of y'all can get crumbs. Some of y'all can get paid off with a lawnmower. Some of y'all can get a contribution to your nonprofit agency. And you just shut up. You just go along with the plan. And you know that people getting done wrong. You know people getting disrespected. You know money's being moved and they ain't getting to the bottom and ain't going to the grassroots folks. You know that. But you're going to stand quiet. You're going to sit up there and be with it because you getting some peanuts off of it. That's crazy. If you would sit up here and stand strong on principle, then we ain't got to stand up for crumbs. We get the whole loaf. And that's what we're trying to get to. We just got so many barriers that's preventing us from getting there. And we can't just be on that no more. I mean, when I'm saying like we channel that Martin Luther King energy, really channel that Martin Luther King energy. Don't sit up here and be saying and talking about these legends if you ain't willing to put in the work. Don't even talk about it. We don't even want to hear you. Don't sit up here and get on a per hour talking about some nonsense. Man, nobody believe that stuff you talk about. Don't sit up here and get up here and do all these weak podcast shows and all this stuff just to be messy in the media. Winters, all that old silly stuff. We got to cut that mess out. Let's be about some real action. Let's not make this for play. Let's not just try to be some fake ass Wendy Williams out here. Let's really be about the business. Let's go ahead and be about something. Let's leave a lasting legacy. At least, man, the generations that's going to be coming up, they're going to be reading about this stuff. They're going to see all the garbage that came through, all the files that's going to come out after you gone. You want folks to say something like, man, that was a pillar or that was a punk. What you gonna stand for? What you gonna be? I know for mine, I know all the young people that I represent, I stand up for, mentor. You know, they be appreciating having brothers like this in front of them because they give them and serve as a guide. They don't take this for joke. They don't take this for play. They really looking, they hungry. And we wonder why young people out here acting up. Wonder why they feel like they've been outcasted. Wonder feel like why we feel like we've been disenfranchised. And then you want to get mad at them and talk about pull your pants up and turn your hat around. Man, go on. If you ain't willing to stand in the way, if you ain't willing to get in the way, steady talking about, man, I'm trying to stay out the way. That's crazy. You supposed to be a guy. You supposed to be in the way. You supposed to be going to these liquor stores, to these events, wherever they at. You supposed to be there. And let me talk to you. I know we here for a purpose. I know we here for this, for the circus. But in between time, let me drop these jewels on you. Let me give you something to think about. Let me talk to you for a minute. Let's kick some real stuff. Let me kick it to you about MLK. All us in position or older should be over there talking to these young people, saying like, man, listen, let me talk to you for a minute. Let me kick it with you. You know, Martin Luther King wouldn't be a pleasing of this. Malcolm X would not stand for this stuff that y'all on. And all our elders, our folks that's older, we need y'all. We ain't trying to be at odds with y'all. And I ain't never said like I never, you know, I always respect my elders. I always appreciate all the ones that's before me. Because if it wasn't for you, then it wouldn't be no me. So I appreciate you. I appreciate kicking with Brother Ed yesterday and having a conversation. I appreciate kicking with having a conversation with Brother Reggie. I appreciate listening to Reverend Thrill Kell because he be always dropping jewels. I appreciate sitting up under Miss Inez Brown and she talking about political action. I appreciate the time that I spent with Brother Woodrow, the late great Woodrow Stanley. You know, when you talking about this political makeup and the leaders, Winfrey and all them, right? I appreciate y'all. That mean everything. We got some folks that we can learn something from in this day of us now. We got to take full advantage of it. Stop allowing ourselves to be placated by a bunch of nonsense and stand for something. Stop being all this old flip-flop weak stuff, man. Get off of that stuff. You want to be petty and stuff. Man, y'all fools is crazy. Some of y'all is nuts. And it shows. Some of y'all that really dealing with mental issues. Some of y'all that be on them lives talking all day. Man, you crazy to sit up here and be on live every 5-10 minutes like it's something to talk about. Why you gotta be on live so much? Boys be sitting up here driving down the street on live. When there's real work going on right now. Doing all that research and still retarded. I keep saying retarded. I don't want to piss my people off. But just doing all that research and still sound stupid.
It sounds like it is.
Still don't got your facts together. Still looking like an idiot. And we all see it. And folks just laugh. You think people engaging in that. You think people care about what you're talking about, but they really don't. They don't care about what you're talking about. They don't care about none of that stuff you're talking about. Because they know you don't stand for nothing. We can't even take you serious. Folks sitting up here want to be on TV all day, in people's face all day, ain't got nothing good to say. I don't even see how we be watching that stuff. I don't see how we be entertained like that. Don't be part of the circus in 2024. Don't be a part of that stuff. Be about something that's of substance. If you know this stuff is a clown show, don't be engaged in that nonsense. Don't watch them silly lives. Don't watch them podcasts. It's not fruitful. Don't watch that old clown stuff. Don't be about that. People is really crazy out here. And they think they got it together. So in the vein of my brother Martin Luther King, make sure you all like and subscribe and share Fli-City Blackout. Everybody on right now, make sure you like the show. Make sure you share the channel, right? We appreciate all the support. We on one, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue to keep giving that type of energy all year long. Man, we appreciate everybody for tapping in, coming on the conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? If you got something that you want to be a guest on the show, just go to Fli-City Blackout on Facebook. You can go on YouTube as well, right? However, whatever, man. We want to have real engaging conversation. If you took offense to what I said, or you're an adversary, and you can come sit down in this chair right now and have a whole dialogue and try to make sense of what's being said. If you feel in your heart that I was talking about you and your foolishness, 10 out of 10, I probably would. Right? So, man, let's be something different this year. I know, Brother Ed, sometimes people won't change. Some people just ain't gonna change. Everybody can't go. I mean, my old music manager used to tell me, like, man, bro, everybody can't go. You don't be able to take everybody with you. I used to be like, man, listen, I'm gonna take everybody with me. Everybody gonna go get it. Everybody got a part to play. Like, man, you crazy. Yeah. Everybody can't go. Yeah. You better make it make sense, right? You better get in order. Whoever need to be there gonna be there.
They're playing a part.
And that's it, right? Don't be trying to do all this extra stuff. You know, try to mobilize and get folks that don't need to be there. Unfortunately, there's gonna be some casualties in war. And I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is, like Shell just said, everybody don't understand the assignment. MLK left us an assignment. Hopefully, folks know what that assignment is. Hopefully, we are not taking this brother's name, his mission, effort, or initiative in vain. Be about service this year. Like Bada said, she about to go out there and go get some signatures. Well, go ahead. Stay strong out there, right? The thing is this. Identify what your purpose is, your mission, and make sure it co-graphs with the collective. You got any parting words you want to say, brother?
No, I agree with you. I'm just going as I go. I'm listening, I'm observing, and I'm sharpening myself. So I'm agreeing with what you're saying. We just need to pray harder, try harder, and carry out the mission.
No, that's real. That's real. Well, you know what? We appreciate y'all. I hope something, sparks an interest. I hope something that, was said definitely makes sense to you. I hope we be much more than lives and podcasts and all talk. Right? I hope that we'll be about some action this year. I hope that we change the course of city council this year. I hope that we do get a acceptable state representative that we see on a regular basis, right? And that's here, that's willing to do the work, that's listening to the community, and that wants to be a partner, right? And that's going to take these efforts to Lansing and make a difference. I hope to see all these Black organizations work together as a collective, right? That's NAACP, that's NOI, that's Black Lives Matter, right? The Black Panthers, everybody. Genesee County Black Democratic Caucus. I hope to see us all try to make a difference. But then also, I know everybody has their own lane. But then, some way or another, we can kind of formulate a plan together, get some objectives and goals. I hope to see that we raise that 12 to 13 voting outcome percentage up to 60, 70%. And folks coming out in droves. And not only did we vote, but we come back to the table the very next day with objectives for whoever's in that position, whoever's holding that capacity. And then there's some demands and some mandates we're going to look to have from you. And we're going to expect you to carry it out. And if you don't, we'll be knocking at your front door. I hope that we get these young people engaged and not so caught up in the fast life, not caught up on Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all this other silly stuff, right? That's keeping folks distracted. I hope to see y'all out there doing what we know that you can do. Join the movement. Be a part of something great. Be about something that's building up something other than yourself. And I hope to see us, take this conversation and take these dialogues, take these into movement, into action. And I appreciate everybody who I've worked with over the past year. I appreciate everybody who participated during Kwanzaa, because that gives us principles and values that we need to learn to live by. And I appreciate folks that lended a helping hand. You ain't always got to pay folks to do some stuff. Like, everybody is in a position trying to get somewhere. But at the same time, understand that, listen, I don't get paid for this work. I don't get paid for none of this stuff. I don't get paid to come to these meetings and come down to city council. I don't get paid to stand on the front line and demonstrate and protest. I don't get paid to go to the county jail and make sure my partners down there are good. I don't get paid to do house calls and visits with families who've been discriminated against or who has faced police brutality. And we have to just deal with the outcomes of the effects of the trauma. We get paid for that stuff. You got a heart to do it. Because you cared. You cared enough to stand in the gap. And everybody else didn't. You in the building by yourself. Everybody going home. You still working. Everybody ain't got that type of sacrifice. People be so burnt out. People be so tired. People will work 8 hours in a day and be done. Well, other people work 12 hours and still that's half the day for them. Let's be about something different this year. Let's be the change. Let's be what our ancestors are and thought us to be. We ain't got to engage each other if we ain't going to be real with each other. If you ain't going to be about no real stuff, stay away from me. Because you don't even be around me. Right? Because my spirit is not even going to allow you to be around me. And you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable being around me. Right? Because it's a certain type of vibe that I carry. And I want to make sure that I hold myself accountable. Hey, I want y'all home. If I ain't standing up, if I've been missing in action, like folks were saying, like, yeah, where you been these last 2-3 months? Folks, sometimes folks be busy. I got 2 teenage children too, right? I got a whole operation outside of Michigan, right? And I got stuff I'm trying to get to as an individual. But at the end of the day, hold me accountable. If you ever see me on this side, being a flip-flop and joining that side, then you make sure you pull me to the side and say, Brother DeWaun, that was some flip-flop stuff that you did, and I want you to know that I didn't appreciate that. And you know what I'm going to say? You know what? I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother, sister. I appreciate you because I know better. I ain't never been a flip-flop in my life, so I know if I'm ever doing some silly stuff like that, then I would take my own self out the game. If I'm not being a benefit to Black people in this community of Flint, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to waste your time. I'm here for a purpose, here for a reason. I know that. I've been in this game for a decade long. As a young brother, me and this brother used to be touring around the country. Touring around doing music. I was in city to city, state to state, doing music, wasn't even thinking about community work. I came back here for a purpose. Came back here for a reason. And I'm still here. and get all these different offers to do all these different things and all this other stuff, you know what? I honestly say, like, man, you know what? My job is not finished in Flint, and there's some things that I'm trying to do, so I got to stay fully active on that. I can't even entertain those things. A lot of lucrative things, but I wouldn't even entertain it. Now I do get out of here and be on the fly sometimes. I do be in and out of town. You know, I'm planning to go back to Africa here soon. So, you know, I'm definitely working on some international goals and objectives. So, you know, but it's all for the culture. It's all black for the culture. But I'm not wasting no time with nobody. I'm not wasting my energy because you can't get that time back. I'm not having these coffee conversations with just everybody. Only time when it's for a conversation is for a reason, because we got some stuff to do. So just take hold to that. 2024, we holding each other accountable. We being the difference. We not gonna let Martin Luther King dream fail. We're gonna make it a reality. We're gonna vote more. We're gonna own the stores and the gas stations in our neighborhood. First, we're gonna own our properties. We're gonna buy the parcel lots around it. So when you see them doing this new development, that you getting in the way, because they're gonna have to come holler at you and come see you, and you put a price on it. You want to sell it. But all year long, we getting our finances together. We finally got the grocery store coming up, right? We see that grocery store, we proud of it. But then at the same time, we looking at doing a credit union next. We stepping up. We stepping up. We might even build our own public school. We ain't got to deal with the charters. Charters are private organizations. Private organizations. So they may not necessarily have the mindset what's needed for our students. We need to make sure those curriculums benefit us, but then it's a reflection of us. That it has cultural awareness, that it has civic, arts. We bringing all that back. We much more than basketball players and football players. The music scene is hot around here in the city of Flint, for sure. But best believe we not banking on just that. We more than just rappers. Now, we at this point where we are in this community now. It's gonna be up to us to take it into this next hemisphere. That's causing for everybody to get bound, everybody get involved. So it's get down to lay down. The time is now. You might not have this opportunity like this no more. With all these wars going on in the world, you don't know what's going to be coming. And you got influx of folks coming back to this city. So you might find yourself as the minority if you don't get it right. Because trust me, them folks downtown, they just ain't got it together. They letting folks in. And it ain't gonna be beneficial for you. So, did I cover everything? Am I on point? What's up, brother Rodney? We see you, brother. What's up, Tanya? Make sure y'all like and share and subscribe to the channel. Everybody hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all support it. Make sure y'all share it. Make sure y'all put it out there. Y'all talk about Fli-City Blackout. You talk about the broadcast. It don't cost you nothing to support. I said that earlier. It don't cost you nothing to support this stuff. It ain't that much to take 15, 20, 30 minutes out your day to hear some constructive conversation or some motivation. All 2024, I'm motivating. I'm hoping I'm just motivating. I don't want it to be tearing everybody down. Now I will tell you now though. I get some folks I'm gonna be getting on their head. I'm definitely about that. But I'm definitely trying to make sure that we leave a positive note. I'm for sure about that. And I appreciate all my brothers and sisters, man, that feel and continue to build me up. That means everything. That gives me the energy to get out here and fight another day. That makes me feel like I'm doing something correct. So once again, we appreciate you all for tuning in to Fli-City Blackout. Once again, make sure you hit that like button, share. I see, and I appreciate you, brother Jaleel, brother Roddy, for dropping the jewels in here. I appreciate you, sister Shell. Let me make sure I tap in with y'all. Give them some words of wisdom, on the way out. Yes. I appreciate my brother coming back out, coming back in the mix. But always been down. Always been in the mix, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
For being the time, for man. Always being there. You know what I'm saying? No matter what we was doing, all right? We rapping in the streets, selling drugs, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? The brother been there for many transitions, man. So that mean everything. Appreciate you, brother Ed. Salute to you, my brother. Our brothers in the A. Shout out to the Genwell group. Them some fine brothers, man. That's dedicated about the mission, right? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be partnering with them all year, right? We got the Juneteenth. We're gonna be starting Juneteenth conversations not this Monday, but the following Monday. So then that way we can be strategizing on what we need to do for this year. Last year we did 11 days of Juneteenth. That was amazing. That was a comeback, and that was so super strong, right? Everybody felt that. We just had a round of Kwanzaa. Every day at Kwanzaa, everybody was showing up, coming there with their children. It was a beautiful feeling. Every day. Big shout out to everybody who presented, who facilitated, who came from out of town, who joined us via Zoom. All that. That was big, right? And I encourage us to practice those throughout the year. Let's not just wait until June for Juneteenth. But how do we rectify what happened to our ancestors every day of our life? That's what we should do. How do we incorporate the 7 principles of Kwanzaa in every day of our life? Those things is what we should be focusing on. What's up, Yolanda? We see you on the mix. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to Black Lives Matter. Shout out to all of us, all the chapters, even the foundation, everybody, right? We appreciate everybody for stepping up, right? We appreciate all these different groups. I know they got the dinner down there, the MLK dinner today. Big shout out to all you all down there. Who down there eating. Make sure you don't forget about that brother's dream, though. Let's not get up in there and just have keynote speakers and everybody just be looking good. And then we just go back to our cushy positions and forget about what the mission was. No, we're not doing that. Well, big shout outs to you for being down there, right? We appreciate you. I was going to definitely show up. I know the brother down there, Brother Robert's down there representing too. So, man, we definitely in the mix some way or another. Big shout out to everybody, man, that continue to keep helping, be alive, stay strong here in this city. Everybody, right? Never forget. Never forget. Never forget where that came from. If you don't support Black Lives Matter, then there's something wrong with you. Because always know that was and always will be a mission and a driver for you. Just like the NAACP. I hear some people talk about these organizations that were created by white folks. Black Lives Matter was never created by no white folks. Black Lives Matter was actually created by 3 sisters. Black Lives Matter is the biggest threat to the modern day Israel. If you ain't read that, then you need to read that. You need to research that. Nobody had them scared like we did. We coming through with change of policy. We came with the Breathe Act, the George Floyd Policing Act, all those things. You got to have folks in the Senate that's going to pass it. They be scared of that stuff. White folks be scared of stuff. Don't be scared. And big shout out to my allies that really support it. They really about that. I got some real strong allies. I ain't got time to be dealing with them fake folks. I ain't got time. Some of my allies be stronger than some of these black folks. Trust and believe, I appreciate them. When we was doing demonstration and putting it out there in the streets, running up and down, running up on police, there's a lot of them allies and white folks that was with it. Sometimes it'd be more of them than it was of us. You better believe that. So one more thing, man, when we talking about Yolanda, this was about MLK's dream. And then we talked a lot about those plants and those spies. Y'all know who y'all are. Whether you down on city council, whether you're on your little podcast, whether you streaming live right now in your truck down in Georgia somewhere, just understand, man, listen, we ain't standing for none of that stuff. Get your mind and your life right. Otherwise, we're going to force your issue. Because all day, just like with Lightfoot Solomon, those documentations, they come out. That stuff come out. It's going to come out one way or another. I ain't never been one to worried about no paperwork, because I ain't in it. I can say that just with full confidence. Backtracking nothing. Double down on nothing. Right? It take a real one to be able to do that. And I feel like a lot of us is like that, but then we got some folks that's not. So we keep an eye on you plants and you spies. That's what the show was about, Yolanda. It was about MLK. And we thankful for MLK and his contribution to society and continue to make it stronger as a unit, right? And we're going to live out your dream, man. We're going to make it a reality. So with that being said, once again, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Show some love for BLM. Giving great reverence to Martin Luther King, but then also Malcolm X. Let's not forget about Malcolm X in here now.
Can't forget about Brother Malcolm.
We can't never forget about Malcolm X. Malcolm is always going to be a legend. That is one of my favorites, if not the best. I just really appreciate what he meant. He really cared. And he knew that, listen, man, you know what? Sometimes folks ain't going to live a long life. Yeah, I want to live in a rocking chair and play with my grandbabies. That's for sure. Yeah, I do too. This sound like a really good time. But understanding that sometimes that just may not be the case. Some of our roles is to be using the time that you got. Whether that be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. Use the time that you got and use it wisely. Make sure it counts. I know I will. So while I'm anticipating living a long, prosperous life, I'm thankful for whatever time I got on this earth. But one thing for sure, when I do go out, you'll say, yeah, that brother was solid. I respected that brother because of what he stood for, and I rock with him 100%. And hopefully, you know, it's going to be some more young brothers that coming up right after us that learn from these situations and these standards, and they make good on the dream. So, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody. Once again, man, I appreciate the family. Brother Air, appreciate Yolanda. Hey, Runs. I see you, country. I see you, Brother Rodney, Jaleel, Tanya, Shell. I see all y'all, right? Confused Ant. Man, you know what? I appreciate everybody for just even staying true on the broadcast. And we're gonna run with it. I see you, mother. And so, man, while we getting ready to go ahead and tap it out, man, let's make sure that we take a moment of silence for MLK. All right. With that being said, all right, man, we encourage you to join the broadcast tomorrow. We will be bringing in former 7th Ward Councilwoman, Mrs. Monica Galloway. She'll be coming in. We'll be talking about some of the Seventh Ward activity, but then also we'll be talking about city council. We're just gonna have a real conversation about what's going on here in the city of Flint. We're gonna be talking about politics, procedures, and presentations, right? So I think that's gonna be a really good show. Check us out tomorrow at 7:30 on Fli-City Blackout. Till then, we're gonna be tapping in. What's up, brother Flynn? We see you, brother.
Peace and positivity to all the brothers out there and the sisters also.
Yeah. You gotta tell us. We gotta bring you in, man. So you tell us about that grocery store, man. I'm ready to shop. All right, now. All right, man. So, man, y'all tapping in. I'm tapping out. All right, man. Peace and blessings, bro. You know, we black them out like this, eh?
100.
Peace.
Peace.
We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.